Nightmare Afton loses to a child, Beheaded doesn't even reach top 5, and the Knight, he is nowhere near the most powerful indie cross character, at least without using canonical scaling. You see, everyone has their own idea on who is the strongest indie cross character because they're biased, which is why I've had the idea of ranking all these characters without their canonical feats, only their in-show feats to make it more consistent. And just for the record, I have played all the games, so I'm not biased. These are the definitive top 10 strongest indie cross characters. Coming in at number 10, we have Madeline. She's a lot closer to human than superhuman. Her only redeeming battle qualities are all of Madeline's attacks. Those attacks, however, are mid to short ranged and easily dodgeable by all the characters above her on this list. They are sort of strong though. They can slice through a mountain and tilt Game Master's head back, but that's really about it. She is fast, but the only use for that is getting away since she has no melee attacks. I mean, except for this kick against Game Master that did no damage. In reality, she plays her role well. At the end of the day, she is a better fit for a supporting character to the ones who can actually fight. Cuphead in this show is no laughing matter, even if he's at number 9. Although he is super fragile in game, he is able to withstand a lot of attacks from Shovel Knight, and apparently he has all his shots, EXs, and supers, and can pop them whenever he wants. So a pretty large damage output. He is not as fast as Madeline, but can dodge a large amount of attacks with the smokescreen. And you know, he actually has battle IQ and experience compared to Madeline. Speaking of battle IQ, this guy survived Gabriel. Huge upscale right there. At number 8 we have Shovel Knight, which should serve as a baseline for all characters moving forward. While not only being able to beat Cuphead, he is a powerful short to mid-range tank with a great damage output. But when you target that shovel, he does become a lot weaker. Other than that, he's, you know, the main character of the show, a great leader, and can even play a bit of support. I mean, that's really about it though. This guy hasn't really faced that strong of opponents, or one for that matter. His only feat really is beating Cuphead and almost beating a drone, which should also serve as a baseline for strength. He really just is the middle of the road. Of course, coming in at number 7, we have the guy that won a 1v2 against Shovel Knight and Cuphead. Although through health bars it was revealed that Shovel Knight would have won, you know, this guy still held up a 1v2. And then he was also the only one to do any real damage to Nightmare Game Master out of the 4 of them, and was the guy who actually got to kill him. But aside from that, he kinda gets dog-walked by everyone else, like Frisk, Medusara, and his one-on-one with Game Master without the help of his friends. But hold on, we haven't even gotten to the characters in episode 2, where the characters really start getting powerful, including possibly the strongest character of them all, starting with... At number 6, the Beheaded. While being super goofy most of the time, has some quite notable feats, like apparently taking out all of these drones when Drifter passed out, and keeping up with Drifter while they fight Game Master. He's really strong and durable, but his ability of respawning is just not feasible in most fights, and he's lucky he can even use the corpses of Charlotte's robots. It really is just speed where he falters. All the characters above him on this list are just a lot faster than him, and is the key to determining the winner of these matchups. Yes, I had to split this one up because of how much of an insane D-power creep happened to our child, so you could argue that Beheaded does crack top 5. So a quick recap of Frisk: they are weaponless, and their heart locket is busted. This by no means makes them a weak opponent, but now the Knight's vow to kill them is a lot more feasible. Of course, this Frisk is still insanely fast and durable enough to keep up with Nightmare Afton. It's just being weaponless makes them mostly unable to beat the ones above them, plus an aborted genocide route should cut their determination and therefore striking strength into less than half. Coming in at number 4, yes I lied in the thumbnail, what are you gonna do about it, is Drifter. Listen, I promise I'm not biased, and my explanation for him beating those under him is he's just way too fast for episode 2 Frisk to catch, and even if they did, he maybe could tank one hit. And for Beheaded, come on bro, Drifter is faster, stronger, and smarter than that guy. Maybe not more durable, but definitely those things. In the Game Master fight, he is actively trying to spot weaknesses, while Beheaded is just slapping him with a frying pan, even in the final fight. Now, faster is obvious, and the damage output should also be obvious. I cannot tell you how many times he slices Game Master's body into shreds, even when he's the size of an ant. I think his only downside is him being sick and hallucinating at the worst times, which in Indie Cross also depletes his health. Other than that, he is the only person to realize that the shards on Game Master's head are partially his weakness, and the one to do the most damage to Game Master when everyone else has one-on-ones. Before we get into the top 3 characters, I would like to ask you guys to subscribe for other great power scaling content like this, and it would also get me closer to 10k, which would be peak bragging rights and an ego boost. Back to the video. Yes, the big leagues now, within the top 3. A nightmare form, able to summon portals and manipulate the world around him at a whim. His feats include surviving and attacking Frisk with a weapon, which speaks volumes about his durability, able to speed blitz the heart locket from Frisk, and actually killing the kid, even something that Charlotte in her prime couldn't do. It's also the sheer versatility of this guy and nightmare forms in general. The things he does in his fight really does make it feel like Afton is just playing with the kid. And then he somehow gets his way into Frisk's determination? Like, that isn't even a place, bro, what the heck? Alright, let's cut the crap and get to... You know, coming in at number 2, V1 vs Nightmare Afton would be a real toss-up if it weren't for the fact that we're not using any canonical scaling, only Indie Cross scaling. And you know who V1 is fighting in episode 3? All the rogues at once! That includes Midusara, Unithor, and Unreal, since he casually pulled up with Godot dead in his hands. This already speaks levels about his durability, you know, maybe able to survive getting hit by Unreal, and strong enough to overpower Godot. Let me remind you, these guys are no feeble threats. They have destroyed dozens of worlds and are probably stronger than Nightmare Afton and more experienced. At least, together they are. The new teaser trailer for episode 3 even implies that Charlotte was too scared to confront V1 to teleport him, instead she opted to lure him into the city. And this even impresses the Doctor. Yeah, so V1, I can't even lie, you got that fight against the rogues, bro. But he's not number 1. Honorable mention to Zagreus, since we have absolutely nothing on his specifically Indie Cross power scaling, but if Moro does him justice, he should be around the Beheaded level. The strongest character in Indie Cross is the crowned king of Indie Cross power scaling for reasons that should be obvious as long as you aren't biased. Frisk in episode 1 was able to tank a mountain being dropped on their head and hundreds of true knives, and they were still strong enough to fight Charlotte. Mind you, those knives are definitely stronger than V1's bullets. Offensively, we should know, unless they are severely weakened, every attack is a one-shot. And lastly, they could even be light speed the way they dodge these attacks in both episodes, but I feel like that's too generous, and their average speed is definitely not that. Anyways, that brings us to our only downsides. Frisk is kinda slow and their attacks are very close range. But that also brings us into Determination. This Frisk is still on a genocide route, and Determination heals them anywhere, anytime, and grants them a respawn point. Frisk is just too strong, and V1 isn't as fast as everyone glazes him to be. People forget that this V1 is flawed, can and will get hit, and is not a speedrunner. So yes, those are the top 10 definitive most powerful Indie Cross characters, and if you want some more content like this, I have a video of canonical V1 this time fighting everyone in episode 3, so go check that out. So comment on where you think Zagreus falls on this list, or give me your top 10 characters for that matter, and have a wonderful day.